Welcome back to Knowledge Academy's YouTube channel. In the last video, we introduced decision trees and explored their workings. Now we'll dive into building and interpreting data using decision tree. Before we start coding, let's quickly recap the two main types of decision tree. First is classification trees. These predict categories like spam or not spam. And regression tree, these predict numerical outcomes such as house prices. In today's example, we'll create a classification tree. For this, we'll use the famous iris dataset, a simple dataset with features of flowers and their species. Step 1. Load and pre-process data. We'll start by importing the necessary libraries. Here's what each library does. First, load the iris dataset. This dataset contains features like petal length, sepal width, and the species of flowers. Then train test split. This helps us to split the dataset into training and testing sets. Next, we will import decision tree classifier, which is a machine learning model that will build the decision tree. Then plot tree. This is a function to visualize the decision tree. Last one is matplotlib/pyplot, which is a library for creating plots, including our decision tree visualization. Now let's load the iris dataset. First, we will load iris as shown. Then we will assign X the data of iris dataset, which contains the input features like petal length, sepal width, etc. And Y will have target labels of iris dataset, which represents the target labels or species of flowers. Step 2. Split into training and testing sets. To evaluate how well our model performs, we divide the dataset into two parts. Here, Xtrain and Ytrain are used for training the model. Then Xtest and Ytest are used to evaluate the model's performance. Then we keep test size equal to 0.3, which means that 30% of the data is set aside for testing. And at last, the random state, which is equal to 42. This ensures reproducibility by using a fixed seed for splitting. Step 3. Create and train the model. Now, let's create a decision tree classifier and train it on the data. So to create decision tree model, we will use decision tree classifier to build the tree. By writing model equal to the decision tree classifier, then in bracket max depth equal to 3, this limit the tree to 3 levels to prevent overfitting. Then random state equal to 42. Then we will fit the model in X and Y train using fit, which trains the model on the training data. Step 4. Visualize the tree. One of the best features of decision trees is that they're easy to visualize. So let's plot the tree. For this, we will use PLT dot figure, then in bracket determine a figure size. Then we will use plot tree to display the structure of the decision tree. Then in bracket we will write model to get the trained data. Then we will use feature names. This labels the splits with the names of the features, example petal length, sepal width. Then class names, which is nothing but target names of iris table. It is used for labeling the leaf nodes with the target classes, like species of flowers. Then filled equal to true. This colors the nodes based on the dominant class, making the tree easier to interpret. Then we will display it using plt.show. Step 5. Evaluate the model. Finally, let's measure the accuracy of our model. So for that, we will write accuracy equal to model.score on X and Y test. Here score compares the model's predictions on the test data, which is X test, with the actual labels, that is Y test. Then we will print the accuracy as percentage with very basic function as shown. Here the printed accuracy of 100% indicates the model performs perfectly on the test data, which happened due to the simplicity of the iris dataset and the chosen parameters like max depth. But for example, if the model is 95% accurate, it means 95 out of 100 predictions were correct. So to sum up, we successfully built and visualized a decision tree using Python. By experimenting with parameters like max depth or trying different data sets, you can unlock even more insights. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more hands-on tutorials. Got questions? Drop them in the comments. Happy coding and see you in the next video.